Hello, 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 everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Transplanar RPG, episode 12 of Arc 2 of our main D&D campaign, Belly Full of Blades and Brutes. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she, and I am the GM and executive producer behind this shindig, Transplanar RPG, which is our all-transgender, people of color-led, 100% homebrew, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live-streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. You can find me on Twitter and on Itch.io at by Connie Chong. By as in the authorial sign off, not the sexuality, though I am both. I am also a professional GM with Magpie Games curated play program, but I think my tickets for April are sold out. So sorry about that if you weren't able to nab one. I'm now going to pass along introductions to Devin.
Connie, you need to change your handle to bye Connie Chong.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Devin. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on our Discord server. It's a wonderful place full of wonderful people. Share pictures of your pets, help us count to 420, and also get notified for when we're going live. We try to add everyone when we do, and if you have your own Discord server, you can subscribe or something to the announcements channel so you can get those updates in your servers. You don't have to keep copying, pasting it, and all that kind of stuff. It's a wonderful, wonderful place full of wonderful, wonderful, beautiful people, including all of these wonderful, beautiful people, but also everyone else. And with that, I'll pass it on to Erica.
Hello, everybody. I'm Erica, she, her pronouns. And if you don't know, I am a professional streamer here on Twitch at Erica New Girl. You can find me really anywhere at Erica New Girl, anywhere I do exist, including TikTok, where you can hear me say lewd innuendos to people. And I'm playing Minecraft right now, if you enjoy that. And that's all I have to say about Minecraft.
At this exact second, Erica? Talk about
Welcome to Transplanar RPG. Today we are playing Minecraft instead of whatever.
I have a V skin. Evan made me a V skin, okay? So I'm in character. And with that, I pass to Max.
Hey, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. You can find the sewing stuff I do on Instagram at Stitchmonger, or my regular cat pictures at Starchmonger. I'm gonna pass it to C.
Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, and TTRPG person. You can find me streaming on Twitch on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Fuck the fucking daylight savings time, for real. Truly for real. Yes, you can find me doing that. You can also find me on most social medias at PieSharpArt, since I have collectively put that together where it ought to go. And before we get into anything else, did y'all know that Connie's birthday is tomorrow? They've been a little quiet about it, and they're releasing stuff on Itch for their birthday, but I think, wouldn't it be nice if we sang Connie the birthday song? But we're not going to do it slow like everyone does, okay? We're going to start and we're going to have a tempo, okay? We're going to keep it upbeat. All right, Devin, would you like, as the musician in our group, would you like to lead us?
Do. And go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Connie. Happy birthday to you.
You.
Crank that Soldier Boy. Okay, I'm glad we all went to the same place. Happy birthday, Connie. I love you. We all love you. Thank you for being our GM. I hope we can give you a wonderful session today, and wish you well on this next year. And tell us, speaking of years, tell us about all our future programming. Woohoo! Yay!
Wow, thank you all so much for that horrible rendition of Happy Birthday. Now I see how hard it is now being on the receiving end of that. Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm releasing 2 new modules as seen on Transplanar RPG on byconniechong.itch.io. So if that's interesting to you, if you're interested in accelerated combat, which is my new way of running combat in D&D for random encounters, and role play, which is what I'm calling a relationship building system agnostic mini game that can just plug and play anywhere in your Pathfinder, D&D, whatever campaign to help develop relationships relationships between your PCs and NPCs. So if that's interesting to you, follow me on Itch.io at @byconnie_chung. So moving on from that, thank you all so much. That was very sweet. As a reminder, we have changed our schedule. So the only piece of programming we have here on Twitch is this. That's it. Our weekly D&D session, Saturdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So everyone who's here, y'all are rock stars. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. And please continue to support us by continuing to tune in on Saturdays, telling your friends about us, tweeting about and at us, subbing to us, cheering for us. All of that helps so much, and we really appreciate it. So I'm going to pass the baton back to C about promo partners.
I know I always do this, like literally every single week. I even thought about the merch before then, but it still hasn't happened. But as always, you know who we are. Thank you for supporting us. But also, don't forget to check out our promo partners with other trans, queer, and BIMPOC-led streams, pods, and projects by using the ! Promo partners in chat at any point. You can also find our merch store, which still doesn't have the stuff that I made that I promised I'd make that I was going to put up, that I swear I'm going to do it by using the ! Merch command so that you can have shit cow stickers and trans dice. But check that out if you'd like. And to continue this spirit of delight, Erica, would you please thank our donors and our sub-goal stuff?
Of course, we do love to celebrate and thank everyone who subs or does gift subs, donates, cheers during episode 11 last week. Those folks are Erica Newgirl, whoever that is, Rika Honda, I'd never heard of them, Fazman91, and Crude Imposter Nightbright for your generous contributions. We super appreciate it. Also, as you can see on our overlay, we have a 25 sub goal. 5 subs grants the party a point of collective inspiration. 15 subs gets an auto crit that anyone, including the GM, can use. And hitting 25 subs triggers a PC backstory flashback, which guess what? We actually hit when we were in the waiting room. So, Connie, what?
Do you want to roll the one-sided dice?
Yeah, I'm gonna. So who hasn't gone, right? Has it just been Manaia? Is it just Manaia who hasn't been picked? Okay. So Manaia, pick a number between 1 and 1.
Shit, do I go 1 or 1? I'm kind of torn.
I think you should choose 1. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna roll, okay? All right, I wonder what that could be. So
the acting in this stream is immaculate, is it not?
we are professional actors. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now, Max, what the hell happened last session? Because I can't remember.
That's a good question. Connie, if you don't remember, you can always go to use the !
What a
recap command in the
segue.
chat. Or shut up. Or bit.ly/trans recap. Leave me alone. Here's what happened if you don't want to read it. Manaia, Oak, and Rev hold together and beat back the monster trying to suck Vinash through the eye portals in Dr. Ching's ship cabin. Whatever was going on down there is too fucked up to deal with, so Oka uses Vinash to blow up the ship. V, gambling and playing reckless tavern games with the soldiers, hears the clap of thunder from Vinash and rushes out with everyone to watch Mahu's favor sinking into the Black Tongue. As Dr. Ching also rushes out, the team walls him off and questions him. He genuinely thinks he's working for good and trying to stop the world's suffering. They knock him out for this and are deciding what to do with him when he pulls a shakor and melts into a puddle of goo and calls for his mother. V takes the form of the very recently deceased Dr. Ching and puts the other researchers' minds at ease in their hut while rifling through Dr. Ching's desk. The party, now out of viable ship, decides to head back up the Black Tongue and find a new ocean-ready ship. Maybe at this derby we've been hearing so much about? I'm gonna pass it to Devin.
Hello, I'm in the middle of medicating myself because I forgot to do so. So as always, we have episode titles. I think Connie spoiled this one. I need to stop doing that. It's also in the title of the stream, but the title of this episode, which is Arc 2 episode 12, god damn, we're already in 12, is Belly Full of Blades and Brutes, which is from Trojan in Night Sky with Exit Wounds by Ocean Vuong. And the full verse reads, Of an apple, as if their swords aren't sharpening inside him, this horse with its human face, this belly full of blades and brutes, as if dancing could stop the heart of his murderer from beating between his ribs. How easily a boy in a dress The red of shut eyes vanishes.
Thank you for that, Devin. Ocean Vuong is incredible. One of my favorite poets right now. Everything he writes makes me cry. So if you can, I totally recommend Night Sky with Exit Wounds. It is such a great book of poetry. So now moving on to the session itself. Thank you for that, Devin. Some content warnings for our campaign, and this episode especially may include giant spiders, giant snakes, addiction, memory loss, body horror, gore, fantasy violence, death of loved ones, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cult and cult-like behavior, anxiety and panic attacks described in detail, poverty and classism, a refugee crisis, natural disasters, and economic injustice. As a reminder, you can access these content warnings at any time using !CW in chat. So please take care of yourselves the way you need to. So let's begin without further ado. The village of Shadecap is exactly as the four of you left it. Gigantic mushrooms the size of trees, growing from spongy earth, with wooden settlements built into their bases, stems, and the tops of their big, flared caps. Shadecap, the village, is shaped like a crescent, surrounding a pond that feeds out to the Black Tongue River. Oka, Manaia, Dewey, and V. It's early morning when the four of you paddle Mosscrawler into the pond of Shadecap, and you immediately notice the one thing that's changed about this place. And that is the Derby. Dozens and dozens of Nabalians of all races, ages, shapes, creeds, and sizes congregate on the shore of this pond, tending to bizarre-looking vessels and even more bizarre-looking mounts. To your left, you see a frog, the size of Manaia, and spare change, with a harness strapped to its bulging rubbery neck, connected by two giant bungee cords to a huge translucent orb with a person inside sitting on an omnidirectional seat. So as the orb swivels, they're kept upright inside. There's also a gigantic snake with several saddles strapped to its back. And there are two dudes sparring along its spine, like standing on top of its spine with these wicked-looking spears, while a third dude tinkers with a pile of odd-looking devices nearby. There's also a huge mechanical spider with hydraulic legs that hiss as it's like moving and pressing, right? And the abdomen of this robot spider is hanging pretty low, revealing a person inside piloting it. Sitting like prone, sort of like Diva in Overwatch. And finally, there is a reinforced wagon with thick rubber wheels and a spiked metal tarp covering the top so you can't see who's inside or who's riding it. There's also a rectangular structure on top of the tarp that swivels from like side to side with a long metal barrel extending from the center. And this wagon is harnessed to two enormous creatures with plate armor, sharp claws, and these huge snapping jaws, almost resembling snapping turtles. And all of the other contestants, there are more, of course, but they seem to be giving these four competitors specifically a very wide berth, especially the armored wagon with the two plated creatures hauling it. So as Mosscrawler, dwarfed in comparison by all of these like colorful wagons and mounts, like rolls into the pond, what do the four of you do?
Did one of you drown me last night? Is this the beyond? This is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Are you sure we're in the right place? Did you check the map? This doesn't...
I didn't check the map. I gave the map to Rev.
This is Shadecap. That's new though. And she's like eyeing the huge snake that's like yawning, and you see like these two huge like fangs like dripping with venom.
Oka looks like a kid on Adolin. Like their eyes, the double pupils are like shining, like literally sparkling, like anime eyes, motherfucker. They're like, they're looking. They are looking.
V is eyeing just if there's any good things to steal, maybe.
Oh, there are so many good things to steal. People, there appear to be like teams next to each of these like odd mounts and wagons, and they all have like packs with them. You notice that a lot of them are, pretty much all of them seem to be heavily armed in some way. Like those are the two. There are the two dudes on top of the snake, like sparring with these spears. But everyone else either has like axes or bows, crossbows, slings, whips, nets, tridents. Like there's all sorts of like weapons. And you also notice like you can feel like the weave tensing a little bit around like certain people. Like there's definitely spellcasters here, or at the very least people who have access to magical items, right? And like your V antenna, like your V sense, are like going ping 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 as you're like looking around at all these goodies.
Is there anyone we recognize?
Yes. As the four of you paddle Mosscrawler in, trying to find like a space that isn't taken up by like some insane like vessel, like all of you hear a Veronica? Is that you? And standing on the shore next to a what I can only describe as like the front part of this boat looks like a chariot with like a ramming, like with a ram attached to the front, and the back of it looks like a trailer, like the trailer you'd see like hanging off of a truck, but it's been like attached to the chariot, and there are like these sides that fold up to make it like the back of a boat. And it is currently leashed to two large alligators that are fighting over a scrap of meat. And the person that's called your alias, V, is a familiar-looking green tiefling. And she's waving, like, very, very furiously at you. And you recognize her. This is Lore, the tiefling you met on your way in. Into the Court of Ravens back in like episode 3 or something. And she is accompanied by, you see like a little goblin like feeding the crocodiles and like being like, hey, you almost got me, yeah, but you didn't, carrying this like bit of raw chicken. And you also see the hummingbird like Aarakocra, who's taking a nap in the chariot. And Laura says, hey, it's you! Hey, come here!
Hello, friends. Good to see you. And yeah, V heads over to chat with them.
Well, so you dock Mosscrawler and you hop over? Because at this point you're still in the pond.
Oh, again, friends, let's paddle this. I don't know how boat works. Let's paddle over to friends over there. Manaia, do your thing. Make it work.
V, we run out with your friends or whatever. Rev, would you keep an eye on Oka while Dewey and I return the boat?
Keep an eye on me? What?
Yeah, you got it. Babysitting time.
Babysitting?
Yeah, and Rev like pats you on the back and says, hey, do you want to look at this shiny knife?
Yes.
And Rev pulls out the knife she's been whittling this entire time and like shows it to you. Like she's like somehow like inlaid it with a bit of silver. Like since you've been like traveling on Mosscrawler. And the top of Mosscrawler like dunks against like the silty side of the shore. And Lors is right nearby. She hops away from the chariot and hoofs it over to you, V, Dewey, Oka, and Manaia and says, hello, hey, are these your friends?
Oh, you know, these, you could say they're business associates, you could say they're friends, you could maybe even say they're enemies. Who knows these days? The world is wild.
I understand what you mean. Sometimes I love Scrum, sometimes I just want to choke his little goblin neck until he can't breathe. But most of the time I love him.
Well, you know, you can do that here. Nothing can die here, so you can do it all you want here.
I know. That's what's great about this place, right? And the Derelict Death Derby. Welcome. I can't believe you're here to enter, right? Is that your vessel? And she's like looking at Mosscrawler.
Well, no, that is. I'm trying to downplay it. I'm trying to everyone think, oh, this elf came in little canoe. There's no way she's going to win. But I'm saving the real thing for when the derby begins.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, you got that magic thing, right? You could turn into that big guy that you did earlier. But hey, I mean, if y'all are looking to team up, me and it's Laura and the Bone Breakers, we're ready to crack some skulls and kick some butt and take some titles if you want to join the winning side.
Friends, what do you think about joining? I know that means less riches for us all, which I know we all hate, but maybe with your knowledge and our knowledge, we could destroy all of our competition.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys know what the reward is, right, for the winner?
No.
It's what?
Excuse my friend.
Why don't
he's
you all
very
roll
intelligent.
I'm new in town.
roll history to see if you know what the reward is?
17?
17 from Dewey,
18.
21, baby.
21 from
Apparently, we
Oka,
know all about the Derby.
18 from V. What about Manaia? Or are you not rolling?
Manaia doesn't fucking care.
Okay, that's fair. All of
These
you know.
ships are travesty to the ocean.
Yeah, they really are. You see, like the one in the spider has crawled out of the spider and is like oil is pouring out of one of the legs into like polluting like the pond as like she's fixing up a joint. So yeah, all of you know. Maybe you've heard rumors, like while you've been traveling, you've heard snippets here and there, that the winner of the Derelict Death Derby will get an exclusive audience with the current champion of Nabal. Like, you'll get to pick their brain about what the next championship test is. It's coming up in just like a month or two, as well as anything else you might want to ask. You get an entire day with them and their regent.
I assume that the region. I assume that the champion is very well off as well, right? Like,
Yes. Yes, definitely. They're very rich. And based on your high rolls, you also know the name of the champion, though. I don't think you know anything more than that because none of you are from Nabal. Her name is Atalanta.
The Greek hero.
Yeah. I'm using my
Well,
classical.
obviously, if it's from the Greek mythology, they're probably bad, right?
Yeah, they're she's a white woman, so you know she's evil. Anyway, my name's Atalanta. My superpower is white supremacy. So moving on. Welcome to Transplanar, y'all. So at this point, Lore says, "So what do you say? We could all get an audience with Atalanta. I want to pick her brain about the next championship test. I mean, wow, Lore, the champion of Nabal, has a nice ring to it, don't you think?"
You know,
I
that
think
might actually not be such a bad idea. Oka says kind of quietly to Manaia, Dewey, and Rev.
Yeah, I think. Well, friends, the gestures all over. What do you think? I don't want. This is not. I'm not here to tell what my friends can or cannot do. Does this sound like a good proposal to you?
I think it's not a bad idea to at least maybe poke around and get a little bit more information. These ships, and Rev trails off with like a question mark in her sentence. They are interesting, but they look pretty hardy. As for an audience with Atalanta, you mentioned to me what you were saying to your liaison, this Dr. Aluso person, telling you about anomalies happening all across Andake, right? Maybe we could interrogate her about what's going on in Nabal and maybe see if we can help in that regard.
It'll depend on the route of the Derby. Lore, was it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, you guys really don't know anything, huh? All right, well, let me show ya. As she pulls out a big parchment and unfurls it, like, in front of you. And as you do, like, you see, like, her finger lands on an X, which is Shade Cap, where you are. And you see, like, the little pond, like, sketched out, too. So it begins here in just a couple of hours, and then we're gonna go out, and here is the finish line. And she taps an X, which is in the middle of the boundary waters, right in front of, like, a swirling whirlpool.
Swear to God,
That the four of you recognize as the Raven's Eye. She says, "How you get from A to B is completely up to you, but hey, I've snooped around. I know the fastest route there. It's a little dangerous, but it's a direct line. Straight line. If we take this route, we're definitely gonna win."
The sparkles have returned to Oka's eyes. They have returned in full, and they look up at Manaia pleadingly. The fastest way to get to the finish line. Yeah?
Is it always a straight line, right? Fastest way from A to B is a straight. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I always say the quickest way from point A to point B is Dimension Door, but that's just me.
Oh, and you're a spellcaster too. Yeah, you'd be really good to have on our team. And you look real strong. She points at Manaia. You can fly. That's really good. That'll give us a terrain advantage. And you, I like your wicked scars. You must know how to. You must be good at scrapping. And that one, she looks scary too. Yeah. Let's join forces.
I'm pretty sold, friends. I don't know what you think, but I'm pretty sold.
Well, we have a few hours to poke around and decide, right?
Sure do. That's when Quicksilver's gonna get here. He's gonna announce and do the starting. I don't know what it is. It's this new explodey bang thing, and then we're gonna go off.
That sounds like an adventure. So how about we come back in, say, an hour or so, and then we can talk and get coordinated and figure out what we're doing here.
Sounds good. Oh, by the way, these are our mounts. And she like does like a little dance like next to the crocodiles. That one's Allie, and that one's Gator.
They seem charming.
They are, but don't get your hand near it, Veronica, because they'll definitely snap it off.
Yeah, Veronica, don't get too close to Allie or Gator.
What? Never mind. Thank you so much for the warning, friend. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll do some poking around. And as Rev brushes past you, V, she bumps you, and I need you to make a strength save.
Oh, great. Strength.
That
My weakest.
hard?
Nat 20, bitches!
Rev falls down.
Okay,
What if the bump jogs my memory?
You know what? You know what?
Gentle shoulder
Erica?
bump over.
I'll allow it. So as Rev like bumps into you, get like a whiff of her smell, like of this like spice, this like charcoal, like wood smoke sort of burning smell. And what is the memory that's jolted back into you as you stagger toward the snapping jaws of Allie and Gator?
Let's make it spicy. I don't remember exactly the oath, but I do remember the kiss. I remember just the kiss and how delightful it was.
Okay. And in that moment, as you you hear like Allie's jaws like snap by your ankles, and the goblin scrum goes, "Oh, that was a close one. Careful, unless you want to be next. You can join me. We could be peg leg partners." And he waves like his leg, and you see it ends in like a little peg leg.
Oh,
That wasn't Allie or Gator though. That was an accident with a wrench, a furnace, and my ex. Hey.
Dewey, how could you?
wow.
Oh, you're muted. I couldn't hear you at all, Max.
No, I was just sputtering. It's fine. Sputtering indignantly.
So with that, how would the four of you like to spend the time you have before the race starts?
We should probably have a quick Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Devin.
Yes, the four of you and I need to have a little chat.
Suppose we scurry off to some privater location, maybe?
Sure.
We were like walking away from the stuff that's going on towards the like carrying Mosscrawler towards the cabin.
Sounds good. Are you gonna carry it toward the old woman that you rented Mosscrawler from? Okay,
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good. Yeah. So as you're walking, like passing underneath the shade of these various huge mushrooms, you have a little bit of privacy as you're walking. So Manaia, what do you say?
As soon as we're out of earshot, Manaia starts talking and she says, "Look, I don't think this derby thing's a good idea. These ships are at worst disrespectful and at best disrespectful, at worst a dishonorable travesty to the ocean. This isn't a good idea.
Well, what if we could find our own vessel? I mean, they have a point. This is the fastest way to get to your parents. And
I'd
to be honest, Manaia, that's not the finish line for us. That's the starting point. To have as many allies out there with all of this junk, sure, they're not ships, but ships have never survived in the Raven's Eye. Maybe something like this would.
As you consider this, Manaia, the five of you rather, stop in front of the cabin where you rented it from the old woman, and she's out on the porch, basically like she never left. You're pretty sure she's still wearing the same clothes as when you first met her, and she's like on her rocking chair, her eyes, her milky white eyes, sort of like gazing, serenely ahead of her, and she says, "That's Moss Crawler. I'd recognize that scent anywhere."
That's where I had her name written down. This wasn't Weave Shifter. This was before that.
Yes, this was. Honestly, I like Loki. Loki, don't know what her name is either. I've written it down somewhere, but I forget. Miss something. We can revisit. For now, let's talk around it.
Okay. Okay.
She says, "I have your precious things that you gave me."
Yes. We're so sorry about being a little late. I don't know if you heard the news, but our adventures got a little detoured when we got to Green Open Water.
I heard about some sort of massive explosion down by the harbor, but other than that, I don't know much. I assume that was your doing?
Well, it did delay us, among other things.
I see. Well, not my business. Mosscrawler is still intact, so deal's a deal. And she gestures toward a table where she has set out the picture of you and your family, Dewey, as well as your Kanga, Manaia.
Right. Where would you like her?
Just by the back. Those damn fools with the Derby. Tried our best, but they just outnumbered us, overpowered us. At least, when the Derby is over, they'll be gone, but they'll leave their filthy trash in our pond.
Do more pollution. It's... Well, that's not what we're here for. We're here to return your boat. She was wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking good care of her. And as you pass by her with the boat in tow, to store it behind her cabin, in the shade of this huge mushroom, she sniffs and says, Mosscrawler said she had a nice adventure. She thanks you for it. Okay. Anything else? Would you all like to do anything or say anything else?
I mean, when I want to continue the conversation we had on our way here, so I guess we should grab our stuff and start moving.
Okay, sounds good. The five of you, after setting down Mosscrawler, where do you head? Do you head back to the shore and have this conversation on your way there? Okay, let's say you... Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's just a slower wandering back, you know?
Okay, sounds good. So the five of you began to meander back to the shore. Manaia, what do you say?
You all saw that spider machine, right? How much oil it was pouring into the pond.
I was too busy looking at how enormous it was. Yeah, but those things are not good.
No. Well, you three aren't from Uhanahi, so maybe you don't know, but water is sacred. It bears us across greater distances than any horse, hippo, or zebra could. It's brings us places. It allows us to have freedom. We can go across, over, under it. It brings life, and they aren't even ships. They're machinations. On the ocean won't be happy with them, and especially given the state of the waters right now. I know we can't die in the Court of Ravens, but our fate's worse than death.
Well, well, then none of them can win, right? Then we have to win with a boat that you choose. And Oka kind of like nudges Manaia like a little gently, like with her elbow, with a real ship. Show them how it's done. Prove that they don't need these, whatever those are. And maybe we can find a ship here and still get there first. Otherwise, then they just do whatever it is they did with no question, right? Because they're not going to stop unless we beat them. That's how Nabalians think, right?
I don't think they're gonna stop at all. Even if, like, what's the point in getting into fights with these other ships and possibly not making it out to where we're going? If we get our own ship. I'm not in the mood to fight anymore.
Don't want to fight anymore either. If we fires and flames of Mahu. Right, if we need a ship, if we want a ship, we want a Nohan style ship. Fore and aft sail, or fore to aft sail. We want a good yard arm, good mast.
Where are we gonna find that on short notice?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's not like we can build a ship in hours.
The
Trust
only
me.
the only ships like that come in and out of the harbor. Look around. This isn't a seafaring place. We travel by rivers and channels. All we have are canoes, rafts. Maybe a new steamboat import from Uhanahi, but that's it.
Mosscrawler. Out of character question.
Yeah.
I hate to get into like the nitty gritty of numbers, but how long is Mosscrawler?
Long enough to hold the 5 of you and no one else, probably. Why do you ask?
Maybe we could build ourselves a ship. It should be small.
For the ocean?
So you don't, out of character, you don't want to enter the Derby?
Manaia is posing this because she doesn't want to get onto those abominations and try to pilot them across water. But if she has a wild plan to basically take the largest canoe they have, put a sail on it, and call it good.
Sure. So like
because
build your own ship.
Yeah, she's confident in her steering abilities, and as long as it has a proper sail, I mean, she knows the winds, she knows the water.
Okay. How are the rest of you feeling like out of character about the Derby? Because I'm hearing some like resistance to it. And just being like totally upfront, this is what I've planned to like end off the arc, you know? So I won't feel great as a GM if y'all just said no to this hook. I'm just gonna be upfront about that.
I'm in character resistant, but not out of character resistant.
Manaia's coming around to participating in the Derby.
Oka has big anime eyes about the Derby, and so do I.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, V is excited to. Can I jump back into character for a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, look, friends, I know you're not feeling great about these creatures, but obviously these creatures are built for getting us from point A to point B, but there's no way they could want to use these creatures to navigate the ocean. Like, maybe we should ask our friends if they have planned for once they reach boundary waters, how they're going to navigate that.
These things are built for combat before speed, V. The goal is not to go fast, it's to be the only one left. That's how these things work.
Y'all can also ask around to see what the goal is, and like do some investigating. Maybe ask some NPCs like how they've built these things. You know, like what their plans are for open water. Maybe you should like scope out their weaknesses, strengths. You know, this is a great opportunity for y'all to like poke around, do some investigating. Is all I'm gonna say.
Out of character. Here's a thought, y'all. Here's a thought. What if we all joined different teams
Oh my
so
god.
that they couldn't like hurt and then like didn't hurt each other?
5 different scenes, Connie. You ready?
I think that's actually maybe a little ridiculous. It's kind of fun though.
That's I mean,
But if we have like some type of plan that at some point we like, say screw all these teams and get on to a boat. Or
Literally
something.
jump ship.
Yeah.
I think because like well, let's take an hour to figure out what's here, what we can get. I'll check out the local market, see if they have anything that we could use as a sale. Maybe we could, I don't know, do something with that.
Hey, would you and I... Well, rather, would you introduce me to your friends? If their ship is our best bet, then... Or, well, our only option, then I want to make sure it's something palatable.
Yeah, let's we can go talk to them, and maybe they can give us a little bit of a better sense if we play it, as if we're interested. Maybe they'll go ahead and divulge more of their game plan here, and we can get a better understanding of how people plan to get out in the middle of the ocean.
Right, so V and I will scout out, what was their name, Law?
Laurel, yep.
And their ship. Dewey, Rev, Oka.
Going down to the marketplace, maybe look for materials, maybe look for a registration booth.
We'll go see the sights.
Y'all notice like Rev it looks a little out of it. She's actually sort of staring off in the direction of the weave spun nest. And she's just sort of standing there. She doesn't seem to have been paying attention during this conversation. What do the four of you do?
Hey, come on, shiny knives, let's go.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. And still with a little bit of a vacant look in her face, she turns and follows you, okay?
Oh, Rev, one thing. While I have you here. And Manaia, comes down to a low voice. She's like, the profane undeath, how far does it extend into the water? Could we make it to the Raven's Eye?
I'm not entirely sure. My guess is yes. The Raven Queen, I don't know, I feel like she's trying to reach out to me. And she falls silent.
Hey, let's focus on one thing at a time, all right?
Right. Okay. Sure. V, seeing Rev so conflicted, and after having, re-remembered the kiss based on your nat 20, what do you do?
V is going to walk up to Rev in that way, I don't have, I'm just walking up. I don't have anything to say, but I kind of have something to say and be like, Rev, when you happen to just sort of, nudge me ever so pleasantly, I seem to remember something very. You're like starting to blush a little bit, and V's like, I
I'll
just
leave you two.
Do the rest of you give them some privacy too? Or
I look at V with
Oka's
disdain.
already halfway down the bank towards the shiny stuff.
sure. And Manaia turns to give some privacy. What about you, Dewey?
He like walks backwards, but like with a hushed whisper, he's like, "You choose this time to get into her pants again."
Wow, Dewey the slut shamer. I see.
Wow.
She's clearly got shit on her mind. I don't know.
Okay, so with a little bit of privacy now, after seeing how embarrassing you're being, Rev looks down at you, V, and says, "Oh, oh, V, look, I've been rather childish the past 24 hours. Frankly, I haven't behaved like this since I was a child, and I think I owe you an apology for that. We never clarified what we were to each other, so it was unfair of me to put those unspoken expectations on you."
Well, I didn't know that I didn't remember something that seemed to be very important.
Right. I knew you'd lost a chunk of your memory, but
I'm just gonna say that what I remember now was very pleasant, and I enjoyed it very, very much, and my heart is a little bit warmer because of it.
Oh. She pulls her hood down like a little bit more over her face so you can't see her expression, but you're like under her, so it's easy to see her face. She also looks a little like flustered, and then like the face, like the expression like softens away, and a bit of a troubled look comes back to her face. She says, "V, the Raven Queen, she's calling me. The weave spun nest isn't far from here. I can sense it in the weave. Her power is weakening. I don't think she can sustain the undeath for much longer. She's calling out to me. She wants to talk to me, but I still don't know, V. Seeing how the four of you handled that monster, everything going on with the URL, everything we discovered together, being with you, maybe there is something else out there for me that's not just killing the myriad."
Well, if your heart is ready to accept that there's something else out there, perhaps, and I don't know if you want me to come with you or if you want to do this alone, but if you need any help, I'm ready for whatever you need, and there is more to life than just revenge. And hopefully you're ready to accept what those things are.
What I need from you, V, is for you to tell me what to do. Should I accept the Raven Queen? And maybe help her? I don't know what will happen if I let her in. Or should I carry on our pact, the one that we sealed?
If you go, don't worry, I will uphold what were we talking? There's still that little blank spot about the oath of like.
Sure, maybe it's starting to like fill back in as you're like digging for it, right? And as time's worn on.
Yeah.
You seem to remember that the oath was about each of you would help each other kill, like you'd help her kill the myriad and she'd help you kill Sievert.
Yes. Well, if you go and accept this, I want you to do it with an open heart, knowing that the myriad his days are numbered. Their days are numbered.
Thank you. Then I think I'm gonna go. I think I need to help her.
None of us hear this, right?
Nope.
Can I
Just
roll
me.
for eavesdropping?
Oh my fucking god, Dewey.
Yeah, why don't
I have a vested interest in this.
why don't you roll perception? Why don't you?
Dewey the gossip monger.
Dewey the... No, I can't say that.
Max Gossip Monger. Max at Gossip Monger. What'd you get?
19.
19. Yes. As you're standing off to the side watching, you hear pretty much every word that's spoken, even though it's in hushed tones. So, Rev leaves you with that. Thank you. I don't know what will happen after I go to her, but I might not be here for the Derby.
I know that when the time is right, we will find each other again.
And she leans in and gives you a hug. And she lets go.
He leans in perhaps for a kiss.
Fucking gay. Connie's like, well. And we're all like, kiss for me. Kiss for me. Please, sir. May I have a kiss for me?
D20 for performance.
Yeah, make a luck roll. Roll D20. See how, yeah, D20, add your charisma. What'd you get?
So bad.
What'd you get, Erica?
I'm going to use a luck point.
Okay, use a point of inspiration. Go for it.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. The dice hates me. The dice hates me. Well, that's an 8. That's better.
You have one more point of personal inspiration and a point of collective inspiration if you'd like to use
So
it.
we're using it for her.
Oh,
know
you
what?
have...
Well, no, I have my luck.
Oh,
I have 3
right,
points of
because you
luck per
took the
day.
feat. Oh my god, yeah, okay. You took the feat, okay. I give it back to you.
Let's see.
Erica burning through her much needed inspiration to you brought this on yourself, Erica.
I'm just trying. Can I use multiple lucks on the same roll?
Yeah, I'll let it happen. It's fine.
It looks like
yeah,
I
go
can.
for it.
Yeah, so I'll use a second luck. Fucking A! Okay, I'm gonna use my third luck point. Last
Oh my
one I
god!
have.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, well that's an 11. Fucking A! My dice decided.
Are you
Add
adding
your
your...
performance. Add your performance to it.
No, hold on. Let me just. Yeah, that is with my performance is 11.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, you lean in. Tell me how it's a little embarrassing. Tell me how... Yeah, go for it.
So V just like leans in and like puckers, and at first like Rev is just like, what's going on? I'm like, and then V just like, please kiss me, and it's like all red and bright and shine. It's
You
just
literally say the
painfully
words, please kiss me.
Yes, this is embarrassing. She's not good at this, okay? She
Yep,
hasn't done this in a very...
That's so funny because you're always so like suave, you know? Okay, so Rev looks at you, she sighs, and she moves in and she swoops in and she literally sweeps you off your feet. As she like dips you and kisses you, and maybe like your stomach like drops down a little bit, and then she like it's a very deep kiss, and then she like pulls away, and you're both just like standing there. And she goes, okay. See you later. And she turns around. She turns around and walks into the swamp.
V's like a little lightheaded and be like smiling and just like
and we panned to Dewey. We panned to Dewey like peering through some ferns.
No, Dewey's like wandering, like pretending to look at things, but also like glancing back.
Okay.
Dewey, you saw nothing, and V like runs to go back.
No, I always see nothing. It's fine.
Dewey, I do not see it. I am not looking. I do not see it, but I'm listening.
Dewey's like, let me pull out my bifocals of
watching gay
Creeping.
stuff. Right. So on that, let's go now to let's go to Oka. Oka, you have walked off and you're wandering around. Are you looking at the people and their boats? What are you looking at?
I think Oka was like, power walking down. They turn around to like call at Rev again to be like, we're going, like, come on, let's go. They see Rev and V kissing, and then they're like, anyway. And they turn back, and they're like, all right, solo mission, I guess. Yes. Can I mean, there are lots of different interesting things. So many, in fact. Oka is maybe the least interested in the machine and more interested in the cool snake and the weapon and the big armored thingy. So, I mean, generally, I think maybe if Dewey is going to go look for like registration and shop stuff, Oka will talk to some of the other competitors. Although they have horrible charisma, but hey, this is their time to shine. So who is around, I suppose?
If you're interested in the snake dudes can be around.
I mean, I'm also interested in whoever's in that horrible armored thing. So there's the spider, the armored car, so to speak, with those weird snapping turtles drawing it. There's the snake, and then there's a fourth
Frog.
one, right?
Frog.
There's a huge frog.
The frog. Okay, less interested in the frog, more interested in the iron thing and the snake.
Okay, why don't you roll me a d20 to see which one's nearby? 10 and under is going to be the armored thing. 11 and up is snake dudes.
All right, it's the armored van.
All right, as you approach the armored van, you see one person on the outside. They seem to be like tightening up like a bolt or something near one of like the struts of the van. And she sort of looks like she's like a grease monkey, very much like definitely like a mechanic. Like she's got this wrench, she has this heavy tool belt on. Like her hair is like drawn back in a ponytail. She's a drow, you notice, with these like long like ears that go all the way back. And she's like currently like on her knees, and she's muttering to herself like she's trying to like she's like kind of like halfway underneath the wheels. She's going fuck motherfucking. Fucking get fuck. And you can hear like the two monsters or creatures or whatever they are like snarfing around in like the mud for tubers or whatever it is that they're snarfing for. Would you like to roll nature to see if you know what they are?
Could I even use my hunter's bane?
You certainly
to recall
can.
information about monsters. Hell
100%.
Yes.
So you have advantage on that roll, I think, because of that. Yeah, your hunter's bane. So, what'd you get?
Only 11.
Even with an 11, Oka, as a monster hunter, you know what these things are, because they're pretty famous. These two things are bulettes. They are also known as land sharks. They're very big, very aggressive, and they're like exotic animals, like you can't tame them. But they look pretty tame. And looking at them, peering at them closer, they seem to be like specially bred bulettes. Like you can see, like as they're like snarfing around for tubers, you can sort of see like gills underneath their armor, you know. And you notice like their fins, they have like a fin. They're like their shell almost looks a little sandpapery, and you see like their claws have webs.
Oh hell, fucking yeah. Oka, kind of like, I think that this whole time they're like looking at everything very interestedly, but since they don't really know how to talk to people, it's like they're glaring at everyone. They're like giving everyone the fucking nastiest look in the world because it's the only emotion they know. And they're like looking and like having a smoke, you know, as they're wandering along. And I think they kind of like wander up and like look at the bulettes from a safe distance. Notice this person underneath the cart. You need a hand tightening that up.
She slides out from underneath, and you see that there's like a plank that she's on with like wheels underneath. As she slides forward, she looks at you. She's like kind of sweaty. She wipes her like midnight black hair like out of her eyes, and looks at you. She's got these like big mechanic gloves on. Dewey's like, I'm not the hottest mechanic up in this bitch anymore. And she stands up, and she's about your height, and she says, "Who are you? Scoping out the competition, huh?"
I would be a fool not to, right?
Who are you
So
with?
you need that. I'm not with anyone yet. You need that tightened up?
I got it. You know your way around a wrench? She's like looking you up and down suspiciously.
I know a guy.
You know what? I got it covered. It was just a loose valve down there. So really, who are you with?
We might be shacking up with Lore, I think is her name. But we might also be taking our own team, yet to be decided.
You have to be decided. The race is starting in like 2 hours. Also, who the hell's Lore?
I don't know. Those are interesting. Oka gestures at the Bulettes.
Yeah, Mimi and Mimu. And she like nods, like with her hands on her hips. I didn't breed them, but the crazy motherfucker who did is in this thing. And she pats the side of this like armored wagon.
And they can't hear us from out there?
Sure can. Built this thing myself. It's like a two-way mirror sort of situation. We can hear and see everything on the outside, but no one on the outside could hear or see anything on the inside.
Well, hello, crazy motherfuckers. I myself am a purveyor of monstrous beings, and I would love to chat with you about Mimi and,
Mimu.
Yeah. It might be of use.
The drow woman turns, talks to the wagon. There's like silence from the wagon. She says, "What do you think? You want to talk to this guy?" There's like a pause, like a silence. She goes, "Nah, he doesn't want to talk to you.
What the hell you mean?
He says he's not interested. Says he's busy."
Busy? You're in a wagon. How busy could you be?
There's a lot to do. You gotta prep the controls. You gotta make sure all the ammunition's okay. Make sure all our weapons are nice and sharp.
Oh yeah. So I would definitely be of no use then. And Oka, I think, kind of like starts going for the Bulettes.
Whoa! What do you think you're doing? Hey! As you approach the Bulettes, Mimi and Mimu, they're like done. You see their like tiny little nostrils flare as you get closer, and they look up, and their eyes look like shark eyes, you know, like just pure black, no soul. And they turn and look at you, and they're like close up. They're really big. They are, you know, about the size. Both of them are about the size of that huge toad that was the size of Manaia. And as you get closer, like you feel the ground begin to shake a little, and you realize they're growling. What do you do?
Oka's like, hello. What do I know about Bulettes? Like, they are rather famous. Is there anything like, kind of like horses where if you stand right in front of them, they can't see you kind of thing? Like,
well, similar to sharks, if you boop them on the nose, you might be able to like startle them a little. But they're really tough. Like, there's no, like, maybe between their armor plates are also, like, a weak spot. Those gills are a good place to, like, you know, but then that would really hurt them, and then they'd get aggressive. So you boop them on the snoot and get between the plates.
Great. Oka, the horrible creature that they are, is gonna just, like, they hesitate for just a second, as they recall this information, and they walk right up to directly in front of Mimi, let's say.
Mimi goes and starts like digging at, you know, and like chomps a little with her jaw.
Oka is gonna take out their water skein, actually, uncork it. And then like training velociraptors moment, they're gonna try to pour the water over its gills. It may be their angle is that this thing is maybe a little agitated from being on land if it's also bred for water, kind of like how a toad needs to stay moist by taking water baths.
Roll animal handling with advantage.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, with that, yeah, you pour your water. Mimi goes, which you interpret as a purr, as like the water goes over her gills, and she seems to calm down. Even Mimi on the other side was like growling, but seeing like Mimi getting calm isn't like attacking you, but is looking at you warily.
I give some water to Mimu as well. I kind of like slosh it over one side and then, you know, angle it on the other one.
And at that point, you hear like a creak, a metallic creak, a clang, and you hear a voice go, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" And coming, you see like on like a hatch has swung open on the top of this like covered tarp, this wagon. And you see like a kind of filthy looking like gnome man, like leaned up over the opening. And he's going, hey, stop it! And as he gestures, you notice the arm he's pointing with is a prosthetic. They're dangerous. Get away! You're not trying to drown him before they can even get that water away from him.
Drown him? Are you kidding? They're thirsty. If you breed an animal with gills, you have to make sure that it has water.
They'll get water in just a few hours. Get away from my animals. Shoo! And he's sort of talking to you like you're an animal.
Oka frowns, and I think like kind of like if these things are like as big as Manaia, they can kind of just like lean their whole weight onto its snoot, I think. And they like give it like a nice scrub on top with like the edge of their water bottle, you know?
And it's like vibrating and like moving a little bit.
I'm sorry, honey. Remember me, won't you? Remember me. And then Oka is gonna fuck off.
So that was your plan to befriend these two animals, so you don't get fucked up by them in the race. Okay, that's not a bad plan. So as you're walking away, and the gnome man goes,
I also know that they have valves that break and that they can see everything. I learned.
You did. Good job. So the gnome man goes, yeah, that's right. Go on, get. Stupid. And he like mutters something in Nabalish. And as you walk away, on Oka walking away, we zoom over to a different part of Shadecap. Let's zoom over to where Dewey is. So Dewey, while Oka was dealing with these bulettes, what are you up to?
Is there like a marketplace area that maybe has like a booth set up somewhere?
There sure is, actually. It's sort of like facing the shore where all the competitors are getting set up are a bunch of like impromptu market stalls that have also been put up. They're selling like merch of like the competitors, you know. You see like they're selling like shirts that have like stitching, like hand stitching on them of like the bulettes, you know, you see like someone there is like genuine signatures from the champion herself, you know, is like trying to hawk these like autographs of Atalanta. What do you do?
Dewey's gonna walk up to just kind of peruse, see what's going on in these booths. But he like lingers a little bit and feels weird about just walking away. So he's gonna buy a t-shirt of the with the stitching of like the scariest ship he's seen.
So that would either be like this reinforced. It's a tank, guys. It would either be like the tank. It has a fucking tank arm. Either be the tank, or probably the huge mechanized spider.
Oh, let's go with the tank.
Okay, yeah, you buy a shirt. The person hawking says, "Hey, that's gonna be 4 silver."
Sure. Hey, I forget the name of this team. What?
They call themselves the Bulette Storm.
Okay.
I got a
thanks.
shirt of a hopper, and he like pulls up like the frog, and it's like stitched with like the frog like jumping with like the oar being launched behind it. Like with like
That's
momentum.
cute.
And we've also got Spider. He like pulls up the shirt with the mechanized
Oh,
spider.
good.
But you notice that Spider is spelled like the I is with a 1 and the E is with like a 3.
God.
And the
Early 2000s elite
Slitherers.
speech looking at us.
I've got a special for our Yenti friends, a long shirt. Yeah, if we want to rep Slitherer pride. Hey? Well, you're an Aarakocra, so maybe just a regular medium.
I also want one of those frog shirts. That's just me. That's just Max talking.
New merch ideas?
I'll get the 2 t-shirts from this guy.
Okay, so that's 8 silver total. So write that down somewhere.
Yep.
Are you competing, or are you just gonna be watching?
Hopefully just watching, but we'll see. I don't know what my team is up to.
I see. Well, I've got the latest tech from Wuhanahi if you want to get live updates from the race, from the derby, and and he pulls up what I can only describe as like a huge device. It's got like wires hanging off of it, and there's like a little like it's like puffing steam from the back, and the front of it is like almost like a smooth stone or like a glassy surface. Yeah, you just gotta
An iPad? An iPad? A fantasy fucking iPad?
You got to get somewhere real high to get it. I don't know why, but apparently all the trees. I don't know, but you can watch what's going on live from here. That's gonna be 100 gold if you're interested. Come on, it's the latest
No,
tech from the URL.
No, I'm super good. And he's like backing away
All right,
into the crowd.
You want some of these mugs? Hey, how about this branded tea? Branded tea pack. As you're backing away, you back up into like someone. You bump into someone, and you turn around and you see it's the hummingbird Aarakocra from Lore's group. He's just sort of there. He's like wiping sleep from his eyes, and he goes, "Oh, hi there. You were with Veronica's party, right?"
Yes. Yeah, we saw you earlier.
Yeah, my name's Quailheart.
What's your role in this race, Quillheart?
Oh, that's a good question. My job is probably the most important and most dangerous job amongst the bone breakers. I'm the skirmisher. So if anyone gets close, I get them.
Care to elaborate on the get 'em part?
I just, and he's an Aarakocra. He's got wings, but he also has arms, unlike you, because your wings are your arms. And he says, yeah, I got these. We actually got these from the same person that we took the chariot from. And he gestures to like a belt, like under his coat, that has like various like glowing orbs attached to it. You see like a red one, green, blue, yellow, etc. And because I can fly, Lore was telling me to just get real high and rain hell on him. Her words, not mine.
Is that some sort of magic thing?
Well, I don't really know what they are, but the guy we took the boat and the gators from, it was real dangerous when he threw these things at us.
Okay, glad to be on the same team.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Man, I wonder what I'm gonna ask Atalanta. Probably what her favorite food is. Or maybe I should ask her to give me some money so I can feed my kid. No, I'd probably ask her what her favorite food is. I bet it's peanuts. Or maybe tree nuts.
This
This is just a congregation of bad dads, huh?
What are you gonna ask Atalanta after we win?
Same question. I think our priorities are very similar. You keep thinking about questions. And I'm
Yeah,
backing away again.
I will. And Dewey, as you continue to shuffle away, let's go now to Manaia. The camera like sort of swings over, and we catch Manaia. What are you doing?
Looking for Lore.
You
Without V's guidance, she...
Sure. You see Lore pretty much where you left her. She is with the goblin Scrum, and they're both like tentatively, they've got like on these like long hooks, they've got like bits of chicken meat that they're trying to feed the gators, but they're like not trying to get too close. Oh, hey, big lady, hey, come here. You good with animals?
No, I have a friend for that one.
Okay. Well, that's okay. You'll help Quailheart being our scrimmager. That'll be good. Hey, there you go. Good job, Allie. Hey, don't you chomp your jaws at me.
So, what's all this? And she gestures at the chariot ship.
This
Minecraft
is
block looking ass motherfucker.
This is our vessel. It's amphibious. It can go fast. It's pulled by Allie and Gator. Look, it can detach over here when we're over land. And she gestures to the part where the chariot part with like the battering ram in front connects to the trailer part. And she pulls like a mechanism and it unlatches. So you also notice the trailer has like two wheels on the back. And when we're on water, and she like pulls the mechanism and like the sides like flip back up. And the wheels also like go up, so it can like float in the water.
Where's your sail?
Sail?
No. winds on the ocean are pretty strong. If you don't have a sail to control it,
Oh no. Allie and
gonna
Allie and
capsize.
Gator are just they're gonna pull. They're gonna pull us. And don't worry. I got a plan
across
for
the
that.
deep ocean.
Uh-huh. They sure can. Cause don't tell anyone else, all right? But we got this from the guy we bought the chariot from. She like opens up her vest and you see a glowing wand strapped to the inside. And she quickly like covers it up, like all protective, like it's okay. I got a plan for when we hit the open ocean. She sure does, says Scrum, and he's like trying to get like a bit of chicken meat into Gator.
Right.
Can
So
I
if we
help
s-
you?
Oh, I'm just here to talk about that proposition you gave to my friend Veronica.
Yeah, that we're all gonna join. What do you mean proposition? I thought y'all said yes.
Well, we had to talk it over.
Getting cold
Listen.
feet.
I'm Wuhan, so ships and sailing on in my blood. And this is quite unorthodox.
Well, this isn't just sailing. This is the Raven's Eye. I mean, they say no ship's ever gone out of it. So these are kind of ships, but not really. So we're hoping, we're not gonna get too close. We're just gonna we're gonna go around and then maybe we'll get to the finish line before anyone else.
Finish line's on the other side, then?
Yeah, it's whoever can go around the Raven's Eye first and cross the finish line. But you got to do you can't just go all the way around it. You have to. It's got to be a little risky. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you'll get DQ'd.
See. Using the natural spin of the
Sure,
eye to...
Exactly, but the difficult part is going to be getting out of the vortex, getting out of the pull of it so we don't get pulled in. But like I said,
Right.
got a plan. And she pats like where the wand is.
So, your chariot bit is for the land.
Sure, it sure is.
And then when you get to the water, you're going to attach the back part?
Yep, we just use the winch thing, and like it forms the boat again. And then we're good for open water.
So you leave the back part at the ocean then, and attach it when you get there?
No, it's still here. Look, as she like lowers the lever, and the boat part like folds back down, and the trailer it's attached. It's like a trailer. It's like attached by like a hook like mechanism to the chariot part.
Right, I see you have wheels. Are they... Excuse my skepticism, but the mud of the court might get the wheels all a little gunky. Are you prepared for that?
Well, yeah, that's my job. I'm the vessel fixer. So if anything happens, it's my job on the fly to repair it. Even if a wheel flies off, we got a spare. Get the mud out. I'm also the leader, obviously. So
What about sleds? Or like ski things?
what do you
That'll
mean?
get you over them. Well, a wider base under the wheels won't get you stuck nearly as often, and be relatively easy to...
Well,
put
if you can
together
do
in an
that
hour
for
or
us in
so.
2 hours, be my guest.
You may have hope for you yet. Well, good luck with your Allie and Gator. My friends should be here shortly to give you more details. We'd love to help. We some business with the Raven's Eye, so...
Sure, I mean, our business is to get the heck out of it. Well, I mean, if you're not going to join us, that's all fine. But again, that little canoe, I don't know what you're going to do with it.
No, that wasn't even our canoe. We had to return that one, but...
I understand. Return. And she winks. I got it. I got you.
No, we really had to return it. It
Oh
was
no,
a
we
ransom.
really have to return this one too, because the guy actually uses air quotes that we air quotes bought it from is still air quotes alive, and we air quotes didn't feed him to his air quotes gators.
No, really, she lives down there. We had to.
Okay, yeah, we're the same, you and me. I know it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And on
Anyway,
and maybe on that, your expression, we go now to V. After Rev has left, what do we find you doing, V?
A little bit floaty, little bit, where am I? Oh, yes, I'm here. She slowly makes her way back towards where all the boats and the things are, and, I suppose would be looking for Manaia since they originally said they were going to go together.
You see Manaia by where Lore and Scrum are. Quailheart's missing, though, oddly enough. You don't see him napping in the chariot anymore. And you see, like, Manaia, like Lore gesticulating wildly. What do you do?
He's going to head towards it, and then all of a sudden, like a spark, now I remember where these people are from. When I was locked in the thing, and they were in the trunks, and with that remembrance, V is much more confidently like going back in to be like, "What's going on, friends?"
Oh, hey, Veronica! It's so good to see you again. So your friend was just telling us how she's getting cold feet.
Believe me, if you
well, I'm on board now. I'm just worried about these wheels in the mud.
Oh yes, my friends, trust me, Manaia, when her feet get cold, they are still very, very warm to the touch. Believe me, friends. You want the Manaia looking
yeah.
at what you've got
Yeah,
going.
hot foot syndrome. Yeah, my uncle had that. Killed him. It's deadly.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your uncle. That is terrible news. But anyway, back to making this the most amazing. Can we get can we break records with this run today, do you think?
Well, it's the first time ever, so we're definitely gonna crush some records!
Right, we've got a few hours, V, so I was thinking of making a few modifications. These wheels are going to get stuck in the mud, so I was thinking of putting, what is the word I'm looking for? Out of character?
Treads, maybe? Like tank treads?
Not like tank treads, but like...
Skis? Skis? Yeah,
things.
skis.
Yeah,
it would be skis,
basically.
yeah. Well,
Looking to build some skis for the wheels.
Quailheart
Maybe reinforce the back ones.
Quailheart went out to follow your other feathered friend there, so maybe he's got some leads. He
is
seemed to be
an
poking around the
engineer, he helped
marketplace.
build.
Well, I could go check on friend out in this.
Right, and I got started on the skis.
All right.
Got any spare wood?
You know, I gave my last piece of wood.
What? That's horrible. I'm gonna give you negative inspiration for that. I'm gonna take away. I'm taking away a point of inspiration.
Out of character. All I could think of was Minecraft, and I hated it.
Okay, I'm gonna take away both your inspiration. Okay. Jesus. Okay, maybe on that we go. Are the two of you, Manaia and V, then gonna try to find Dewey and maybe some wood to like make skis before the start of the race?
So maybe the Lord would have a little extra wood for repairs on the ship?
Yeah, so she goes, oh, I got a little bit just in case we get banged up. And she opens up a trunk toward the front of the chariot. You see like a few planks, you see some like tools. Definitely, it's just like a box with a bunch of shit thrown in it. There's like the wood, might be good enough for skis, might not be. There might be better materials that you can work with in the marketplace. But this could be like a plan B in case you don't find anything in the marketplace.
Right, we can definitely use some of this, but I should probably get to the market, reunite with my engineer friend, and we'll get things sorted out. Trust me. Your ship is workable, but we'll make it better. Much better.
You hear that, Scrum? It's workable. Yeah, we're workables! No, we're the bone breakers. The workable bone breakers! And on that, maybe Manaia and V, the two of you go off to find Dewey, who at this point, Quailheart has been like following you, like half a step behind. You can feel him like breathing on the back of your neck. As you're like going around, he's just like following you and he's going like, so yeah, that's how I met my wife. And then of course she left me like I told you. So it's just me and the kid. I hear my wife's got an egg with some other.
I can't.
At this point, Oka, you've stepped away from the Bulettes and you see Dewey being tailed by Quailheart. Before Manaia and V get there, what do you do?
Oka just kind of looks. I don't know. They're like, huh, okay. And what am I looking for? Are the Tide Wolves here? That's Oka's looking around. Are the Tide Wolves here?
Make a perception check for me, Oka. As you're looking around, because it's a pretty crowded marketplace. There seems to be like dozens of competitors that don't stand out as much, right? But there's still a lot with smaller boats. What did you get?
18.
Yes. You see, there's sort of like a platform, actually, that's being set up right now, like a stage area. And on the stage, sort of like barking directions, you see Ace, the rat folk guy, right, that you threatened to kill, along with his two frat bro muscles, the Tide Wolves. And they're like helping set up the stage, like toward the back. They don't seem to have noticed you at all, because it's pretty dang busy. You notice someone else up on the stage with Ace. This person is a Yuan-Ti pureblood. And he's wearing like a hat with sort of like a medium to wide brim around it, and the top of the hat is shaped almost like two mounds that sort of like go down, and it's made of this like leather. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever seen this design of hat before, and it's sort of like tilted down like over his face. And he's got these like boots, these like leather boots on that have like these intricate designs up the sides, and there's like this like little spinning wheel. You know, you recognize it as spurs, like on the back of him. And he's also got this like belt on, and there's some sort of device strapped to the side of his hip that I'm not sure you recognize at all. It almost looks like two boxes connected at a corner.
Snake cowboy, go snake cowboy.
Snake cowboy. I'm into defamiliarizing the familiar. That's all this is about. And he's like standing there, and you see his like tongue flicking in and out. And he's got like he's like a cobra, like Yuan-Ti, like looking around. Okay, that's what you do. That's what you see.
Yeah. Oka's gonna approach, I think, the dumbass that they are, and maybe kind of like intercept Dewey on the way, and kind of like maybe like kind of sidestep hip check Quailheart a little bit as they do to like. And like wraps an arm around Dewey and is like, how about we sign up? You want to go sign up? I think I see our friends from the other day.
You interrupt Quailheart as he's going, and then my first egg got scrambled. As you hip check him. Oh wait, you guys are going to sign up without us? We're already signed up. You don't have to.
We just have to add our names to the roster. See you later. And Oka like drags Dewey along, you know, like quicker.
But wait, I haven't told you about my divorce fees. As you go off.
Is this character based on me?
It's sad clown Erica.
It's Dewey's narrative foil.
It is. It's Dewey's narrative foil. So as the two of you make your way off to the stage area. Or are you looking for a sign-up booth?
Towards the stage, and Oka's gonna like lean down and be like, "You really have to learn how to get out of social situations, Dewey. That looked torturous."
He was following me. How was I supposed to? I don't know what he wanted from me besides to tell me his whole life story.
You turn around and you say something very rude, Dewey. Very rude. We can talk about it later. I'll teach you some rude phrases.
And on that, the two of you approach the stage. Are you trying to be stealthy or are you trying to be seen?
Oh, I'm swaggering up like an absolute asshole.
Okay.
I want Ace and the two Tide Wolves to see me.
Okay.
Like from across the marketplace.
Okay, roll performance. As you're swaggering, roll it as you swagger.
No!
Do
Are you
from under
swaggering?
open
check?
fire.
Hold on. How are you swaggering? Are you trying to look intimidating? Or are you just using your like pure charisma? Because you could roll charisma like athletics. Like if you do something athletic, you know. It's up to how you do it.
I rolled pretty well, so I'll just take the L and be like, Oka has no natural swagger, but they are also kind of like they have well, maybe they have some swagger, but it mostly comes from them not knowing what they're doing. So when they try to swagger, it actually makes it worse. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a 15 anyway.
A 15. Yeah. As you swagger through the marketplace, like a couple of people, like it's like parts like a little naturally for you, you know? And you see like a couple of like women go, ooh, they're like fanning themselves a little as you like walk past. And you, sure enough, you get
Is that Dewey?
Yeah, they're going, oh, look at his feathers. And as you get closer to the stage, there's like a pause as the rat folk, Ace, recognizes you. He's in the middle of like, he looks very like subservient to the Yuan-Ti pureblood. Right? He's like, ooh, he's like kind of like hunched over and like seems to be explaining something to him. Pauses and goes, you see his like nose twitch, his like whiskers go, and then he turns and he sees you. You!
And should we cut to break on that?
Yeah, let's cut to break. So we will be back in 10 minutes with the rest of this preparations for the Derby. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in 10. Enjoy the fan art reel, and we will see you very soon. Peace.
I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light, to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light, to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dance. Born of many
tea, blood, ham, tea, blood, ham, tea, blood, ham, tea, blood. Tea, blood.
flaming coffin.
Hello, everybody. It's so great to see all of your non-existent digital faces in the chat. Welcome back to Arc 2, Episode 12, Part 2 of Transplanar RPG, our all transgender, people of color-led, 100% homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition livestream actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. So, content warnings for this episode and our campaign in general include giant spiders, giant snakes, addiction, memory loss, body horror, gore, fantasy violence, death of loved ones, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cult and cult-like behavior, anxiety and panic attacks described in detail, poverty and classism, a refugee crisis, natural disasters, and economic injustice. Oh, and probably also pollution as a content warning. So, did I miss anything, or can we hop right back in? Okay, let's do it. Let's hop right back in. So, drum roll, because of the roll I made at the very beginning of the session, because we did hit our 25 sub goal, so thank you for that. We will be unlocking our fourth and final player backstory. Drum roll, which lands on ding, 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 Manaia. What? Who could have guessed?
Oh my
Imagine if you said V right now.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
What
It's
the?
V again. Just kidding. So I think we open this flashback on a ship. A ship that's sort of like rocking back and forth gently on the waves as a sea breeze sweeps over the deck. And the sun is high above, but clouded over by fluffy white clouds. And the ocean is an open question in front of us, sweeping out over the horizon. And on the deck of this ship, there is a target board that's been set up in the middle. There's been like safety cones painted orange and red and green to allow the sailors to give a wide berth, like no one go past this line situation. And the reason for this becomes very clear as we hear a loud sort of like there's a puff of gunpowder and a bang noise as a hole is cut through dead center bullseye of this target board. And as the hole like smokes, like the camera pans and we see like through the hole, like an orc woman standing, holding an odd device in one hand. Her long braided hair, like sort of like pulled back, very elaborate. Her dark skin, glimmering, sheening with a little bit of sweat from a hard day's work. And Kahealani, Manaia, your mother, lowers her arm and blows on the top of this, what she calls her quick sling. And she like spins it and holsters it at her side. And there's like clapping and like whistling from the sides as her sailors like lean against boxes and like smoke and like gamble and watch what she's doing. And Manaia, you are here. Your parents have agreed after one of them, Nali, bugged them for an extended period of time to bring you on one of their trade routes. Just so you can sort of like get used to the ship and see what's going on. So this is a big deal for you, Manaia. It's your first time on the ship with your parents on an actual job. So Kahealani turns to you with a big, bright smile on her face that lights up the entire ship. He says, "What do you think? Think you're ready to handle it, kid?" And she sort of like squats down in front of you so you're eye level.
I don't know, Mom. It looks a little bit dangerous. Faster than any arrow I've ever seen.
It's much faster than any arrow anyone's ever seen. You know, don't tell anyone, but the person I got this from, let's just say the world's better off now that it's not in his hands.
With something as dangerous as that, I see it's in good hands.
Well, I hope so. You know, Manaia, why don't we work on your axe forms a little bit more?
Really?
She nods with a big smile, and she points you to the direction of where your axe, I think it's a smaller version of the axe we see now, like to fit your size, is leaned up against a mast. As she gestures at a straw dummy that's been set up on the other side of the ship.
Yes. Yes, I've been practicing all day.
All right, kiddo, show me what you got.
Right. And I think instead of like a Nuhan style axe, I think it's just like a small woodcutter's axe.
Sure. Yeah, you're
Just
not ready for the
one
big one
side.
yet.
No.
Okay.
Right. So it's quarter slash side around and down. Ah, missed. I've got it, I swear. Let me try it again.
Try again. You got this.
Okay. Whew. I got this. All right. Quarter down, side, down.
Roll athletics.
Six.
Oh, okay. Why don't you describe to me how you miss, or it lodges, or what happens with the 6?
I think this is just like a shitty little woodcutter's axe, so it
Sure.
doesn't matter really. But I think she's like really, really trying, and she's like got it all the way up in like swings, but then it like loosens in her grip, and goes flying over the dummy and off into the ocean.
It splashes into the ocean, and there's like a moment of silence as your mom like looks off like the edge of the railing.
Mother, I'm so sorry.
She throws her head back
okay,
and she laughs. She gives like this huge booming laugh that causes like some seagulls to like squawk angrily and like leave the crow's nest. And when she's done laughing, she looks back at you, steps forward, and she like pats you on the head. Says, "You know what, kiddo? I think you might be too strong for your own good, honestly. That little woodcutter's axe is no match for our might, am I right?"
Right. We're strong.
Exactly. Which is why I think maybe it's time you're ready for this. And she turns and beckons for you to follow.
When I looks around at maybe the other sailors.
And they all sort of go, ooh, kind of like you're being sent to the principal's office, you know? Ooh. As you follow your mother across the deck into up a flight of stairs onto like an upper deck area into her captain's quarters. And she opens the door. Inside, it's like nicely furnished, very homey. There's like plants in here, as well as like tapestries from Morose with like and little tchotchkes from Jukai and little things that she's collected from her travels, like decorate every part of her quarters. And she sort of strides to the back, where mounted on the wall is a giant axe, which is the axe we recognize now. It's your mother's axe. Says, hey, don't look so scared. I'm not going to give it to you yet, kid. I want you to feel it in your hands. And she takes it off of the wall, and she hands it to you. And I need you to make a strength check.
What if I didn't make a strength check and I just kind of like to the ground?
I like that. Why don't you take inspiration for that?
Oh, heck yeah.
To get pinned to the ground by it. Okay. She lowers into your hands and it's like, poof, you go down like a sack of flour. And you're like pinned underneath it a little bit. And she chuckles at that. She goes, "You're strong enough for this, Manaia. You are. Now focus. It's not as heavy as you think it is. It's an extension of your body."
Tension of my body. I can do this. I don't know if that picked it up, but she takes a deep breath. And grips the axe in both of her arms. And maybe gets herself out from under it. And then lifts maybe just the handle with the axe head on the ground.
Your mom beams down at you with an expression of pure pride. How does it feel in your hands?
It's as if it's channels Mahu herself. The little... Are those... You wove little coconut strands into the wood.
Sharp eye. Yes, it's a reminder of home no matter where I go. This is one of the few things I actually didn't, take from here or there. It was passed down from my grandmother, who got it from her grandmother, and one day it will be yours.
But Great Grammy was a pirate, wasn't she?
And your mom smiles. Her smile's always been very radiant, but this one has a little bit of like a something starlit in it, a little bit more mysterious. Don't believe everything Nolly tells you, huh?
Here, and she like turns the handle, maybe scraping the wood of the floor a little bit. Oh, sorry.
She takes the handle from you and she lifts it with ease. She actually like spins it a little, like in one hand, but like you don't feel scared at all because she's got complete control over it, and then she like with a thump with the end of it like onto the wood. She looks at it
Nice
like
eyes are wide.
yeah, totally. She's like, hey, one day you'll be able to do this too. As long as we've got this, we know Mahu's watching over us. My great-grandmother, it's said that she put a little bit of Mahu's spirit into this blade. But that's a tale for another time, don't you think?
Sure. Maybe when we get back home for a bedtime story?
Yeah. I'll make sure Nolly remembers not to swap out the bedtime stories, because I know you like it when your mom tells you stories. And she goes over to the wall and mounts the axe again. And I think maybe the final image is us seeing young Manaia's face reflected in like the sheen of the blade. And then like a bit of light goes over it. Shing! And we see like older Manaia now. Standing at the shore of Shade Cap, watching as Oka accosts Dewey and leads Dewey through the crowd and confronts Ace at the stage. And before that confrontation can balloon, let's go to Manaia and V, the two of you. That's what you see. What did the two of you do?
Knew Rev should have... Wait, where'd Rev go? She was supposed to watch them.
Oh, Rev had to go to the Raven Queen.
She's doing it? She's actually...
Let's just say we had a heart-to-heart, and I think she's... Yeah, she's going.
Right. Heart to heart with V. No. I understand. I know you can be persuasive at times.
I don't... That... V just starts blushing again.
Oh, no. Anyway,
At this point, the
no,
two
I
of
thought
you
you use like magic and like probe the mind or whatever and try to make her...
Sometimes I can be a genuine person who can actually have conversation with people. Don't you remember on Dr. Aluso's things with the chickens?
Well. The two of you are drawn back to the conflict at hand with Ace. He's hopped off the stage, right? And his two like big, like, Tide Wolf dudes are like, they're like leaving the stage for a moment from construction and like assemblage to like backup Ace as you stride forward, okay? If it isn't the shit master themselves. What? What? Get the hell out of here. You're not welcome.
I'm not welcome. This is where the race starts, isn't it? I'm here to kick your ass for the second time, actually, because I actually believe that it was you who bent the knee to the shit king. If I'm the king of shit, you're somehow lower, aren't you?
Why? Why you? Are you trying to provoke him? What are you trying to make him do?
I don't know, just trying to piss him off. Oka has no plan. They're just, I don't know, here
The
to,
shit king can do whatever they want, okay?
they're here to be the shit king. I don't know. They're here to, we won, so they owe us something. A little bit, I think. I don't know if they really, I'm just here to cause problems.
On purpose.
Ace's like whiskers like bristle, and like his teeth gnash, like his big rat teeth, and he goes, why you little? And he's about to stride forward when the Yuan-Ti on the stage goes, Ace. And like their like tongue like rattles a little like out of their mouth, and Ace like stops dead, And this Yuan-Ti steps toward the end of the stage and like flicks up the brim of his hat, and you see like he's got slitted eyes, he's got scales, and he says, "That's no way to treat a contestant. Everyone is welcome to enter. What are your names?"
My name's Oka. We'll be with the Bone Breakers.
Why don't you and Dewey, because you're so close, both roll history to see if you know who this person is? Roll that roll.
17.
21? Okay, wow. So, Oka, you know who this person is, and I could tell you what most people know about them. His name is Quicksilver. He is a former regent of the Championship of Nabal. Not the current one, the previous one, 10 years ago at this point. And he definitely seems to be the one in charge of the Derby. Dewey, with your 21, you not only know Quicksilver or recognize him, you've dealt with him before. How?
That's a very powered by the apocalypse question, isn't it, Connie?
I'm trying some things out. Bear with me.
I was sightseeing in Nepal with my family, and we saw one of... Wait, hold up. 10 years ago. I was sightseeing in Nepal.
Were you with
and
your
I went-
partner?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And we went and saw... We just headed into, like, the... What is it, like a Coliseum sort of thing? We just were walking past and saw that there was a match going on, and we went and slipped into the stands.
Did you go, was it in one of the towers of Raso? Raso is the capital of Nepal. It's on that Ingir Lake. So it's like high up. A Coliseum high up in the sky. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw Quicksilver fight, maybe, in the Coliseum, along with the champion at the time, a person named Mercury. So this was 10 years ago, but based on that fight, definitely didn't have, and Dewey, I'm not even going to make you roll for it, you recognize the device strapped to his hip. It's a gun. And it's like it's a pretty advanced looking gun, actually. Like maybe like a Mark II or a Mark III instead of a prototype. And it looks like, you worked in hardware, you know it pretty intimately, though you probably didn't work in the weapons, district, department of hardware. But it looks pretty URL-y. It looks, either he like stole it or he bought it or like he knows someone who knows someone, because like guns are not everyone has a gun. No one even really knows what a gun is outside of the URL. But he was not fighting with a gun 10 years ago. Okay. Oh, God.
I shrink further back into the crowd.
And your name turns to you, Dewey.
Did they see me duck out of Oka's arm earlier?
We can. Are you hiding?
I'm just trying to see. I don't know if they know that I'm with Oka. I guess if they're addressing me. Cardew, I'm just this one's assistant.
I see. Well, if you're here to enter the Derby, be my guest. There's only a few more hours until registration closes, though.
Oh, we're registered. That's all fine and well, but we haven't been briefed like the others. I thought since we were outsiders, well, I think Ace owes us a favor, actually.
Why, you. He almost looks rabid. Like he's like frothing at the mouth a little, and you see he's like ripping up papers that he had in his hands. He's like shredding them, and he like nibbles at them a little, like in a very like mouse-like way.
Unlike your assistant, my assistant is quite fastidious, and we would like to take a few notes, if you have them, about the routes and about the other competitors.
Maybe at this point, Manaia and V, that's when you arrive on the scene. You get there, and Quicksilver's eyes dart over to them, like tongue going in and out, as well as you like tasting the air as you get here. Ah, are these part of your crew as well, Oka?
Yes, our crew, not mine necessarily.
You know what? I'm feeling generous. What would you like to ask? Let no one say Quicksilver never gave them a fair chance.
What should we ask? A good question.
What is at the end of this?
I'll be waiting at the end of this race. On the other side of the Raven's Eye, I myself will be the one to see who the winner is. In the case of a close race, of course.
Well, I feel like perhaps you should have left about an hour ago if you're trying to get there before we do.
He just smiles.
But really, why the Raven's Eye?
Because it is in the court, so we cannot die if we fall in. But more importantly, it is the most dangerous part of the court. Not even the quicksand, not even the darkest depths of the Paludo Weald are nearly as thrilling as the Raven's Eye. And all of you see like his eyes are like glinting. You know, even though he's got a calm demeanor, like there's something fiery, a little unstable maybe, in his like slit snake-like eyes. And he says almost as an aside, that and the weave spun nest, but there were complications. And he looks down at Ace, who seems to shrink under his gaze.
Yes, complications. We are actually quite well aware of that. Considering that we are supposedly the only people who've been able to go, I think that we'll have no trouble with this race, and we'll get to registration right away. Thank you so much for your time. Bye, Ace.
Oh, and Ace is like quivering, like his fur's all puffed up, and he's like so angry at you, and he sticks up his middle fingers to you as well. Manaia, Dewey, yeah, Dewey, you're like, walk away. Manaia, V, do the two of you say anything to Quicksilver? Want anything to do with this scene?
I think Manaia's a little bit confused as to who Quicksilver is.
Would the
but
two of you also
definitely-
like to make a history check about that?
Manaia's a little bit more focused on Ace, and she like looks him up and down and is like, and says in like a stage whispering, soft but really actually loud enough for him to hear, be like, I can't believe they put the weakling second in command here.
Excuse me? The hell did you say to me?
Wow, we're just really here to dunk on Ace and for no other reason.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking to my compatriot. We're trying to plan for this derby. If
Oh, yeah?
give us some space here.
Yes, we're looking for actually good competitors.
I am at this point trying to shove the rest of my party backwards, but Manaia is huge, and I can't push her. But I'm like, do you remember what? Quit provoking them. That's what happened last time. I don't want to fight them again.
Also, for the
Really?
record, I rolled a 19 on that history check.
Nice.
Okay, so you also, you know, basically everything Oka knows about Quicksilver. Yeah.
Manaia quick bends down to Dewey and says, anger makes them reckless. Reckless makes them have mistakes. Make mistakes. That's what we need. Every advantage we can get.
Well, good thing we're not actually competing. We'll be at the finish line with Quicksilver.
Oh, that's right. You don't actually do anything yourselves. You get your lackeys to.
Excuse me? What?
Shoving.
You come back here! You can't hide behind that bird! And Ace is like striding forward, and Priam and Kato are like growling, and they're like cracking their knuckles, you know, advancing. And Quicksilver says, Ace, enough. Leave the theatrics for the derby. The most worthy competitors shall win. Of that I am certain. What did the four of you do?
I suppose we ought to get ready for the derby, huh?
Is it derby time? Is it time to get ready for the derby? Are we gonna try to make those skis?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do a quick like flash. Just maybe do a couple rolls to see how well the ski making goes. So Manaia, do you tell your party about the plan and have them all put their heads together to upgrade your rig?
Yeah, especially Dewey. I'm thinking about like Manaia can build the skis just fine for like the front wheels, but the back wheels that need to have traction in the mud, I wanted to ask Dewey about because he's more of an engineer.
Okay. Yeah, Dewey, why don't you just make a let's see. There's no like tinker check. Intelligence. Yeah, like a intelligence check. On let's assume like we cut back to where the chariot is. On just the chariot as a whole to see how well you understand it.
I swear to God.
Let's say it can be done with advantage because you literally are artificer.
God.
You have a point of inspiration and one collective inspiration.
I will use my inspiration.
Sounds good.
Please don't let this be as bad. Oh, that's a nat 20. 23.
Hell yeah, baby!
So
Okay,
my idea for these.
You know this thing front and back, okay? You can basically do whatever modifications you want to it, and as long as you have the correct materials and the right tools, you'll understand where to put it and how it works. So this is actually a deceptively sophisticated rig. The chariot, the winch that sort of like connects the back part to the front, also activates like when it's land mode, like the sides of the boat, quote unquote boat, like go flat to give it more like aerodynamicnesses. And when it's like sea or like water mode, it goes up to like make it into like a boat shape, as well as the wheels go up and help provide like flotation. Yes. So you basically can do whatever you want to this rig now that you got a nat 20. So what's step 2? What are we up to next? What do you do next?
Dewey, how fast can this thing go? Will we need a sail?
If you can get one that works, and we'll stay.
The tricky thing about a sail is that it's not great for on land. So you'd either have to find a way to make the sail collapsible, which would definitely require a check. You know, like you have to figure out a way to make it amphibious, basically.
But yeah, Wuhan-style sails have a yard arm that like raises it up and down.
Right, but if you have a mast too, that might be difficult for if you're traveling through like a really thorny area or a place with a lot of thickets and branches and stuff. It might break the mast.
This is out of character because Oka wouldn't know shit about this. But Viking ships have a collapsible mast also that can like come down. I don't know, but
yeah. So let's say with your nat 20, Dewey, if you're the main person doing the actual construction, maybe being aided with your friends by gathering materials and Manaia's shipworthiness. Let's say I'll allow you to make 2 major modifications to this, given that Oka, Manaia, and V can find the right materials for you at the marketplace or around. So it can be the mast and the treads and the skis if you want those mods. Or it can be something else. You can also like give it armor. You could like add like weaponry to it, you know, up to you.
I think speed is of the essence, or that's what's on Dewey's mind. So probably those two, the tires and the mast.
Sounds good. So skis and a mast. So Oka, V, and Manaia, why don't you help Dewey out and each of you just make a survival check to see how well you can scavenge materials for him to use.
If it's okay, I would actually prefer to be working with the crocodiles.
Yeah, sounds good. So you don't make a survival check. Make an animal handling roll for me instead.
I got an 8. Because this really isn't at all V's wheelhouse anyway. That makes perfect sense.
Well, that's gonna give me 2 2s in a row. I'm using a goddamn inspiration. Fuck this shit.
Sounds good.
A 19 for animal for
the
alligator
crocodile.
handling.
Okay. Manaia, what'd
I
you
ain't
get?
about to take that. I ain't about to take that 8. I'm gonna use another point of inspiration.
Okay, so you are down to 0.
What the?
We also have a point of collective inspiration if you want to use that.
This needs
Have
to be
anything
built
in
well.
in my salvage bag that I could use?
Do you have salvage left?
Yes. I
How
have
much?
3.
3.
3 out of 13.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can use the rest of your salvage to help, you know, if Manaia and V get especially bad rolls. Because V got an 8. Manaia, what is your final number?
11, I guess.
Okay, 11. Those are average to not great. So they find enough for 1 modification. So you'd have to pick between the mast and the skis. But if you use the rest of your salvage, I'll let you have 1 really good modification, and the other one is going to be Which means it's either good. I'll let you choose for the other one. It's either going to be kind of fragile, or it's unstable in a way that isn't fragile.
Okay. What do you think, Manaia? You're the one with boating expertise.
We're spending the least amount of time on land, so it makes sense if those can be a little bit worse, especially if they already like have wheels. That'll at least still get us forward if the skis to go out, or if the paddles or whatever you put on the wheels go out.
I will make those. They will be a little bit more fragile than.
Okay,
The
so
mast.
just to clarify, neither of the modifications you're choosing are skis, right? Because you're just trying to buff up the wheels, right? Or were you trying to add skis to make it better in the water? Or
The skis are to make it better on land through the
oh,
mud.
okay. Got it. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, cool. So you're gonna make the skis a little worse and make the mast really good, right? Okay. So Dewey, you do it.
He makes it masterwork.
Okay, I'm gonna give you negative inspiration, Devin.
Oh my god.
New mechanic.
New mechanic. So what this means is, tell me what the mast looks like. You get to decide everything about it.
Um.
And bring your salvage down to 0 for this to work. Yeah.
Oh gosh. So Dewey's just like he's putting things together. Manaia's telling him what to do. I think it's just like the longest piece of like a trunk of a log, as tall as you can get it, and just reinforced with little bits of scrap metal that he has in his bag. And there's like
Rebar.
a hinge. So it
Sounds
can go
good.
up and down.
Yep. And maybe like V's the one who procures like the actual sail. Like that's all you're able to find, just a big strip of burlap or something. But it works. It works, right? It'll work fine. And it's collapsible, which is great, which is really, really good. The skis, tell me, are they fragile or unstable?
They're fragile, I think.
Okay, that means they'll break pretty easily. Cool.
Yeah.
So, Oka, let's resolve your 18. While all this is happening here, like drilling, hammering, you know, like sawdust flying, Lore, Quailheart, and Scrum are like running around you, you know, Dewey, like trying to be helpful, but they're getting in your way. You know, as they're like running around, they're going, bone breakers, yes! You know, they're all so excited about this. You go up to Allie and Gator. And they both look a little rotund from eating so much chicken. They look up at you, and they make that like crocodile noise, you know.
Oka's gonna squat in front of them like a good distance away, and just kind of like squat down and look at them. And I think they spend like 10 minutes squatting, staring at the alligators. And maybe someone was like, "Hey, Oka, could you help?" And they're like, "Stop. I'm helping." As they are gaining the alligator's trust, and they like move forward a little bit. They move forward a little bit. They like move forward a little bit.
Allie and Gator like open their mouths. You know how like crocodiles do that? They like open their mouths and keep it open.
You know, like those birds that like eat shit out of crocodiles' mouths?
Yes.
Oka's gonna reach their whole ass hand into the crocodile's mouth and start removing any of the gunk between its teeth. And I don't know, like crocodile bugs, like if there's like a stone that maybe is lodged between two, I don't think they have molars. That's all just sharp. They're just like, they're cleaning their teeth, basically. They like have their hand like halfway like in the alligator's arms, like cleaning stuff out.
A Scrum, the goblin, is just like quivering, looking at you doing this, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?"
You really, you need to take care of their teeth. If they're not in the wild, you need to make sure that this is all good. And they take like a piece of like a stone and start like sharpening like the plaque off of them, you know, like and like making them sharp.
By the end of this, their teeth are like sparkling. It's like they could be like
Dental
models for like
hygienists.
dental. Yeah, exactly. They could be like dental
Oka the
hygienists.
dentist.
Yeah.
And Allie and Gator, by the end, they're like, "Phew," like the breath smells so good. They like close their jaws like carefully, you know. And both of them like sidle up to you. And I think at this point, like Dewey, you're rock backward a little as their sidling like rocks the boat a bit, rocks the rig forward as they pull it forward, and they nuzzle into Oka, like
We're in the
growling.
Bone Crushers. We have life insurance, and dental is included.
Dental from your blood hunter included as part of the package. Oka's just gonna like check out their like harness situation. Crocodiles are fast and like fairly agile, but they don't have incredible stamina, nor are they like they're not like water-bred bullets. So I'm trying to like see if there's anything special about these alligators, or like how their harnesses are set up that can allow them like greater freedom of movement when they slither around, kind of stuff. Like if I could loosen some straps to allow them like a greater something like that.
It's really interesting. Roll Arcana.
Really fucking well. 19.
These alligators have they behave in a really interesting way. It's like they're really intelligent. Like they're not just alligators or something else. Like they're really smart. Like, you know, they're rubbing up against you. They're like nosing you for treats and whatnot, you know, but they were also like, one of them like was like also trying to groom you back, you know, like with their teeth, like trying to like get some bugs out of your hair, you know, stuff like that.
Are you telling me that there was an alligator with its teeth around Oka's head and they were like, "Thanks"? Is that what you're telling me? Because I need to draw it now.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. And moreover, the harness is enchanted with transmutation magic, which means the harness can change shape and size and form.
Okay. Oka is gonna look at the alligators. You two are hiding something, aren't you?
That's
I'm sorry. Try. Come again.
That's my alligator noise. Is it good?
Oh, wah! Like.
Anyway, the alligators just make their primordial growling noise at you.
I bet your names are not actually Allie or Gator all the time, are they? All right, I'll go talk to Lore. And Oka stands and goes to talk to Lore.
I think at this point it's almost time for the derby to start. Like we're coming up on it, you know, like the tension. Yeah, a lot more people have come in, you know, to like watch, you know, like from the starting line. Like there are people like carrying signs in Nabeletian Common, you know, even in like Raven speech, you see a few. And you walk over to Lore, who is very unhelpfully like mansplaining to Dewey, like Oh, really? I thought you were supposed to hammer in like this way, or drill it in this way so it doesn't strip the nail.
I'm like trying to brush his hands off of my work.
Well, hey, what, can I try? Oh, hi,
No.
Oka.
Hey, can I have a word quick?
Quick. Apple. Potato.
Okay, great. Alligator actually is the word that I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, sure. And Lore hops off of the chariot and says, "Hey, don't mess it up while I'm gone." At Dewey, and walks a length away with you, Oka.
Alligator is an interesting mount of choice. There are a few considerable drawbacks. Have you ever considered alternatives?
Well, let's just say I've got all the alternatives under my belt.
What does that mean? Oka says blankly.
Well, don't tell anyone. But, and she does the same thing that she did with Manaia. She opens up her vest and you see that silvery wand. Like, as soon as she opens it, it's like, like you could like it's definitely super magical. Like, and she quickly closes it.
What is that?
Well, let's just say I took it from someone who,
I don't care where you got it. That wasn't the question. What is it?
Are you trying to intimidate her into telling you? Because she's reluctant to part with that information.
I mean, I think Oka's just being Oka, but if it comes off as intimidating, I would make that roll if you wanted me to.
Yeah, why don't you make an intimidation check? If there's anything else you'd like to do, so it's not just straight charisma, like intimidation athletics,
Intimidation insight, maybe?
Tell me how your insight is helping.
Well, Oka is definitely trying to see how like her face reacts when they ask about it. They're like, "No, stop deflecting. Tell me what this is."
Okay, so roll charisma with your insight proficiency if you have it.
Some inspiration.
Go for it. You have 1, and we also have collective.
That's not so bad. That's a 16.
Yeah, she's not very courageous. She looks at you, says, "What are you gonna do to me if I don't tell you?"
I'm gonna steal your alligators.
No.
Just tell me. What's the problem?
Okay, fine. But don't tell anyone else, okay? I was gonna be the hero. It was gonna be a big thing. So let me have my moment, okay?
I'm a great actor. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, I'm not really sure. I'm not like a big magic person, But this thing, the guy we took it from. We saw him use it on his, well, they weren't gators at the time. But this wand can make them into whatever I want them to be. So I was thinking, shark for the ocean, gators at the starting line, maybe some hippos if we run into mixed terrain. Know what I mean?
I see. That is actually very interesting. Huh. So we have... I mean, that obviously seems like an incredibly magical item that you have never used before.
I've used it.
You've used it with success?
Yes. No. I was going to use it for the first time on the race. It was going to be awesome. I mean, what's so hard? All I have to do is as she takes out the wand and points it at a gator. All I have to do, this is what he did. Point it at the gator and say, T-Rex. And the wand begins to shake in her hand. And poof, like a beam of light shoots out from the end and it hits Allie. And Allie goes, "Buh. And begins to grow, get like big, huge, like expand. And Dewey, you're putting the finishing touch on this mask.
It's just like
Yeah, and it goes like sideways, and everyone starts like screaming. Like a nearby competitor like runs away. Like the mass of this like crushes like a nearby like boat. And Allie is suddenly a fucking T-Rex. Like you see like big, like scaly, high, like huge, and Gator is just sitting there like completely nonplussed. Like this happens all the time, and Allie just lets out a like a T-Rex roar with like the feathers of the T-Rex like rippling, and Lore goes,
Oh my fucking gods! Oka grabs the wand and goes, alligator, alligator, alligator!
You say it 3 times?
Okay, what do you do?
You say it 3 times, and you point
No! No, Connie, no! Don't do this to me, please!
and you point it at the T-Rex. The first beam hits it, poof, and the T-Rex immediately is like comically, like, it grew. It took a long time to grow, and it shrinks immediately. Like poof, it's suddenly an alligator, and I think the chariot like poof falls back down. Like down, and Dewey is shook, and another beam shoots out. So I need you, Oka, to roll a D100 for me.
Oh no.
Look what you've done, Oka. You were just yelling at someone else for not being a magic user using it.
Are they trying to create something or
71.
Okay, and then so the next alligator beam shoots out, and with a 71, it hits the drow woman who was working on the tank. Basically, she's like walking. She was like climbing up onto the tank, and it hits her. She goes, and like her body contorts and she shifts, and before you know it, she's flattened out and she's grown scales and she's an alligator, and she poof like flops onto the ground and starts thrashing around, looking extremely panicked. And I need you to roll another D100 percentile dice.
51.
51. Okay. Roll a D4.
No. No.
A 1.
No.
Okay. The beam shoots out and it hits V.
How did I know? How did I know as soon? So I turn into an alligator
You sure?
with
Make-
a little pinstripe vest.
Would
and a
you
little
like?
tie.
Would you like to resist it, or are you gonna let it happen?
No, I'm gonna let this happen. I can still talk though, right?
You can make alligator noises. So V, what does it look like as you turn into an alligator?
So I just imagine I get hit and it's like arm shrink, face elongates, and then the rest of my body, and I like land on the ground. I'm just like, I'm just like staring Oka right in the face, and my chompers come up and just, and like you can tell, it's a pretty pissed off chomp.
And at this point, I think Scrum goes, "What are you doing, Lore? The race is about to start!" And at this point, we hear a bang as the starting noise for the race. And I think we can end the session there with the race having started.
Is V gonna lead the chariot? Be one of the effing alligators?
V pulls the fucking chariot. Oka was like, I'll fix the alligators. I'll add another one.
I didn't think this is how our participation was going to go down.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this incredibly ridiculous episode of Transplanar RPG. So I have been your GM and executive producer. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter and on Itch.io. It's my birthday tomorrow, so you can find me on those platforms at by Connie Chang, ByConniechang. You can see it up here. I am releasing 2 modules on Itch.io by Connie Chang and Itch.io. So give me a follow. I'd really appreciate that. That would make my birthday. And check out those modules. It's going to be the accelerated combat module that I've run here on Transplanar. If you're interested in that, it's a new way to do random encounters in a way that's faster and more cinematic. And I'm also going to be putting up my roleplay module, which is a system agnostic relationship building mini game that you can just plug and play in your Pathfinder campaign, your D&D campaign, your Masks campaign, whatever you want to help encourage relationship scenes between PCs and PC and NPC pairs. If that's interesting to you, go to By Connie Chang on Itch.io. And that's been me. It's my birthday tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to pass along introductions to Devin.
Hello, everyone. My name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I played baby and also grown-up Manaia. You can find me on our Discord server. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have joined already, so I won't go the whole spiel, but my dog is cuter than yours. And I'll pass it on to Erica.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erica, she, her pronouns, and I played All V Gator, the worst kisser in the history of Andake. And you can find me at Erica New Girl on any social media platform that I'm on. But come check me out on Twitch. We have good times. We're lewd, but not rude. Max, go for it.
I've been Max. They, them pronouns. I play one of many bad dads in this universe, Dewey Quirk. And you can find me on, come check out my Instagram, Stitchmonger, where I've been making pride flag masks. That's been a lot of fun. Pass it to C.
Hi, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I have played monster dental hygienist Okahie, and now originator of Viagator, as well as others. You need an alligator in your life? Call 1-800-OKA-ALLIGATOR. I don't know. This is my new favorite magical item. It's mine forever. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can catch me on my own Twitch streams on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, doing art, talking about dance, sometimes playing video games, most of the time being gay and in love. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be streaming on Tuesday. And you can also find me, generally speaking, on the internet at PieSharpArt. With that, I'm out.
Awesome. So we're going to start our raid for Dicey Amazons. They're playing for the Queen. They're amazing. They are a queer, all women of color tabletop channel. So follow them, sub to them if you haven't already. And as a reminder, episode 13, the actual race itself, woo, is going to be next week, Saturday, April 3rd at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell all the alligators in your life. Join our Discord. We love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and peace.